What's up, y'all? This is Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays, here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Greatly appreciate it. If you could, leave a like and also hit the notification button to make sure you stay up to date with all of my future Teachable Tuesday content. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started with our discussion for today. So today's topic is how to recognize that you are wasting time when it comes to dating. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we've all been there. We've all been in a situation, regardless if we were in a full-blown relationship or potential relationship or the potential relationship, where we've just flat out wasted our time. And it can be a frustrating process, especially if you've spent, several weeks or months getting to know somebody, and then all of a sudden you realize that it ain't really worth it. But it's even worse for individuals who've wasted years and can't get those years back. So today, I'm here to help you guys out with just a few things that will help you notice if you're wasting your time or not. This goes for my fellas and for my ladies. And because they're so interchangeable, I'm really hoping that they can help out a lot of us in general, myself included, because, I have to follow my own advice. And I admit sometimes I get caught up and I have to remind myself of some of these things. So I guess number one, I'll start off with one way that you can know that you're wasting your time in dating. And this is probably, I would say, the easiest way is if an individual has no interest in you and they tell you up front, but yet you consistently try to pursue them anyways. Now, I used to believe that more often than not, you would see guys doing this because some guys just can't take the hint or just don't take no for an answer. But I'm noticing that women also do this as well, where there'll be a guy that you guys are interested in, and he'll tell you on the front end, I'm not interested in anything serious, but yet you'll stick around in hopes that you can change him. You know what I'm saying? So that definitely goes both ways. I'm starting to realize that now more than ever. When a person is not interested in you, you should bow out gracefully and keep it moving. And it might not even be so much that they're always not interested in you. They just might not be interested in having what you desire. So you may want a serious relationship, but they might not want that. And I mean, that's perfectly fine. Maybe they don't want it with you. It sucks to say, but it's the truth, right? Maybe they just don't want it in general. So those are things that we have to make sure that we're aware of, things that we're thinking about. And you can definitely waste your time if you continue to pursue someone that is not interested in you. And not only that, but if you're not careful, you can get in quite a bit of trouble. Just saying, okay? Another way, I would say way number two in which you know that you're wasting your time with an individual is if the communication is lackluster. Now, on this channel, and oh my goodness, communication is like I know there's 5 love languages. To me, if I could make up another love language, communication would be it. Communication is like my 6th love language. You know what I'm saying? Or what I would add on there. But communication is key to any form of a relationship that you have in life, a romantic one, business partner, relationships with your students if you're a teacher, relationships with your professor if you're a student, and so on and so forth. Communication is a big deal. So when it comes to romantic relationships, you have to set it off from the jump off that the communication has to be spot on. Now, that's not to say that you'll be as good of a communicator as your potential partner or your partner, or that's not to say that their communication would be as good as yours per se, right? I consider my communication God tier. I'm just very big on communicating because that's what I was taught growing up. I was always taught that if you want something, say something, make your intentions known, so on and so forth. But I fully understand that everybody may not necessarily be as open with communication as I am. But there still has to be some communication there. If the communication is very lackluster, you're probably wasting your time. I'll give you an example. It don't take a long time to text back. Now, I'm not saying that people have to text back constantly right away because we're all busy people. We have busy lives. I know me, I work 2 jobs. I'm also in school full time. So it's a lot to get back to people right away all the time. Now, on the weekends is a different story. On the weekdays, I might not always get back to people right then and there, but I will at some point. So if a person doesn't get back to you right then and there, no sweat, right? But if you text somebody and they take 2 or 3 days to text you back, it's a good chance that they're not interested in you, right? Or if you try to set up a date with somebody, let's take it a little step further, where you're trying to set up a date with a man or a woman, and they are like, you say, hey, are we still good for tomorrow at 8 o'clock? And they don't respond back until, the next day, literally an hour before the date. And they say, yeah, we're not going to be able to go out. Bad communication, because people are always on their phones. How you know people are always on their phones? People are always on social media. 90% of the population, I won't even say 90, 95% of the population uses social media through their phones. Only 5% uses it on their computers. And more than likely, those are individuals that are much older, aka the elderly. And even they are learning how to use social media more on their phones now more than ever. So, yeah, number two, communication. Lackluster communication is an indication that you are definitely wasting your time. Number three, this kind of ties into communication just slightly, but if the person is consistently flaking on you every time you try to spend time with them or even go out somewhere, you're probably wasting your time. Listen, I have a very busy schedule myself, right? As a man, I'm doing all that. I'm also focused on my purpose. I'm also doing 75 hard. For those of you who don't know what 75 hard is, I'll explain that in another video. But for those of you, if you know, you know. Got a pretty busy schedule going on right now. But I still find time to link up with people that I would like to link up with. If I want to go out on a date with a woman and I'm highly interested in her, I'm gonna make time because I want to get to know that person, right? So if you constantly keep saying, "Hey, let's go out somewhere," and they say sure, but then they, maybe flake on you at the last minute or just flat out don't show up at all without any communication, that's a good indication that you are definitely wasting your time. And you probably just need to go ahead and move on to the next one. Because a person that really wants to see you, a person that really wants to invest their time in you, they'll be like, they'll make sure that they make themselves available, man or a woman. You know what I'm saying? And that's important. And I can tell you that from firsthand experience where on both ends, if I was highly interested in a woman, I was like, hey, let's hang out. Let's go somewhere or something. Or if a woman was highly interested in me, she might say, hey, well, I want to go out, hang out this place, or, let me come over. We can hang out. You know what I'm saying? So, all those are important factors. Number four, reason number four of how you may know that you're wasting your time is this person doesn't seem to know what they want out of life, or better yet, not out of life. That's a little bit extreme. Out of a relationship, and there's not an indication on that note that there's something wrong with that person. So please don't think that just because somebody says that they don't know what they want out of a relationship, that something is wrong with them. Because here's the thing. A lot of people automatically jump to conclusions that when somebody doesn't know what they want out of a relationship, it means they don't know what they really don't want a relationship out of you. That's not necessarily true. They may not honestly know what they want. Maybe they've never been in a relationship before. It's very well possible. I'm meeting more and more people these days that are very much on that side for both men and women. Maybe it's they haven't dated in a long time, and they, have gotten so used to being single that it would be tough for them to adjust being in a relationship. Or maybe worst case scenario, they know what they want out of a relationship. They just don't want it out of you. Either way, if you know that's what you want and the other person is uncertain, move on. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no shame in the game. I mean, that ain't the worst way. You could certainly go out, right? And at least they're being honest, and you got to respect that. They're telling you, hey, I'm not really sure what I want out of a relationship. Keep it moving forward. Honestly, it's a lot better than them stringing you along and you realize months and years later that they really didn't want a relationship with you. They was just trying to figure stuff out until the person that they really wanted came along. That's even worse. So that's a little bit of a side note. I always commend people who tell people early on, this isn't going to work. Yeah, that crap may suck, but you rather know earlier than later, and you've wasted so much time. Because as I always tell people, ain't nothing worse than wasted years on an individual who wasn't really about their life. Just saying. And last but not least, I mean, there's many more reasons, but the last one we're getting to today, I would say reason number five, or way number five, that you know that you're wasting your time is if you are dealing with someone that is not healed or you're not healed. Now, let me explain the whole healing process so I can make sense of it. I am a firm believer that you can be in a relationship while healing. I am a firm believer that you can accept, receive, and reciprocate love while you're healing. But it has to be healing to a certain degree. All right? Let me make that perfectly clear. I'm not saying you got to be 100% healed, but you need to be healed enough to where you can properly navigate through a healthy romantic relationship and be able to, in a healthy manner, provide that love for that individual and receive that love from that individual. So I'm going to start with the part where the person that you're dealing with may need healing. If you're dealing with an individual and they tell you straight up, I'm still getting over my ex, you need to back off. If you're dealing with an individual that tells you, I just have a lot of hurt pent up from my past, and I just don't know how to deal with it, you need to back off from that individual. And that's not to say that you can't at some point try again, but for the time being, this individual needs alone time. They need time to themselves to really properly heal and continue to assess what's going on with them, right? Now, I flip the script. If you're the one that needs healing, you need to be honest if you're dealing with someone and take a step back. Case in point, I had someone that I was dating one time, and she literally told me straight up, Marcus, we're going to have to end things for a while. I said, what's going on? She said, I haven't been completely honest with you, but I'm still healing from things that my ex did to me. And I was aware of those things. You know, we talked about it. But I don't think she realized how much it was affecting her until she realized how different I was in treating her. And she'd never been treated that way before in such a respectful manner. And she couldn't figure out for the life of her, why couldn't she reciprocate the love that I was giving her? And she realized, you know what? I'm not healed. And I respect that. I totally respect it. I was like, okay. Now, was I disappointed? Of course. I really like this woman. But I respected it because I was like, you know what? She's self-aware. And whoever she ends up with in the future, even if it's not me, she's going to make an amazing individual in that relationship because she realizes what's going on. And let me tell you something, guys. Self-awareness is sexy. Just saying. So, yeah, those are, my 5 ways that you might know that you're wasting your time. There's so much more, but I don't want to make this video super duper long. It's already long enough as it is. But listen, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Greatly appreciate it. Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing something special. I'm going to be reviewing an article, a relationship article. I have not done this literally in, I believe, over a year. And I'm very excited about doing this article. I'm not going to tell you what the article is yet. You just have to wait and see. We're going to do a live reaction of it. I hope you guys definitely enjoy it. It's going to be amazing. This is the second one that I've ever done. The first one that I did, you guys really liked. So I'm like, you know what? Let's make it happen again, right? But all right, that's enough for tonight. This is Marcus Frazier from Teachable Tuesdays, here to motivate you, encourage you, and inspire you to be a better you. I love you guys. Hope you have an amazing day.